everybody, Fred the Pirate here, and I am here to do a review of Attack on Titan episode 13. So essentially what happens is, in this week's episode we pick up right off with the last one, and right before the episode starts we have a little bit of a recap of things that have happened the last couple of episodes. So anyways, at the start of this episode, Eren finally gets in control of his Titan form, and he actually starts moving to pick up the boulder and put it into the gate so they can seal off the gate and, and get Trost back. So, he moves to do that, and like the whole time we kind of get Eren kind of narrating, his motives for wanting to do that, like his thoughts on, freedom and being free and, in the price, that you have to pay for that. Like, and, Eren admits, that he doesn't really care, what kind of horrible things he has to face, but it's like that he wants to be free and he wants to do, he wants to see all the things that are out in the world. And, and he's willing to fight as many Titans as he has to for that to happen. So while Eren's given his inspirational monologue, um, his other fellow soldiers are fighting to keep the Titans away from them because obviously Eren's a big giant Titan magnet, and so they're kind of on the ropes. So a lot of them are essentially just trying to do everything they can to help Eren and help him get to the gate, which they do. Um, so Eren does finally manage to get to the gate, and he does seal it, and that's obviously a really inspirational moment. And right when that happens, and Eren kind of gets like knocked out because like the boulder was crushing his Titan body, so like Mikasa and Armin have to like work to get Eren out of his body and onto the wall, so that they can get the rest of the Titans, before he gets killed. But like right before that happens, like they're almost killed. But luckily for them, Levi, I think from the Recon Corps or the Survey Corps, whichever corps he's from, like, but he's the guy from the Elite Corps. Like he swoops in and he kicks people's asses. And at first, when Eren sees this, like he assumes it's Mikasa, which is fair because like Mikasa kicks like a whole bunch of ass. So like if you see Titans going down in a spectacular fashion, it's probably Mikasa. But this time it turned out to be Levi, and we met him a couple episodes ago. So he ends up saving Eren, and so pretty much that was like the first half of the episode. So they managed to seal up the wall, and so they were successful with that. But the second half of the series, not series, episode kind of focuses on the aftermath of the battle. So we see them trying to figure out what the casualties are of it. And it turns out that it took them like a couple days, like of just completely rapid um, fire when it came to cannons to kill all of the trapped Titans that were in Tor. So they were doing this like for days and days. And then after that, we find out that like about almost like over 1,100 people had either died or were missing as a result of the Battle of Tor. So there were some pretty significant casualties because of that. And they mentioned that even though they got Torst back from the Titans and reclaimed land from Titans, that it still wasn't that much to celebrate because they had lost so many people in doing this. So, and I think that's an interesting point. Like, even if they do have Eren, like, you do have to ask, like, is the price of, reclaiming the land, worth it? Because, like, is it really worth sacrificing, like, 11,000 people, not 11,000, but 1,100 people, to get one town? And it's like, you'd have to imagine, like, how many people would die if you tried to reclaim, like, several, like, 100 towns? Like, how many people would die as a result of that? And it's like, is that, an okay sacrifice? Um, yeah, so after that happens, we also find out them trying to collect the dead. We find out when we're with Gene, that we find out that his compatriot Marco died, and Marco was the one that was telling Gene, you know, how awesome he was. And so that was a really hard moment for Gene. Like, he kind of starts freaking out. We also follow Annie and Sasha real quick, where, you know, she ends up helping to find the dead too, because they need to find the dead so they can burn them, so they don't get like an epidemic because of the bodies. And we also have this really interesting moment with Sasha, where she and several other soldiers find this giant cocoon thing. And apparently, um, and this was rather informative, apparently, like, when Titans swallow people, like, they don't digest them. So, like, what they do is they just throw them up because, like, they can't, you know, digest them for any reason, which is, so they just throw people up. So they cover these people in this substance, and then they just vomit the people back up. So, really interesting. It's gross, but interesting. And so, yeah, so I think it would be interesting. So that kind of implies, like, if you went past back to Wall Maria, you'd probably see a bunch of these, you know, globular, cocoon-like structures all over where the Titans had eaten people, but then ultimately vomited them back up because they can't digest them. Um, so that is interesting. So I guess, I think this really does, you know, reaffirm the fact that the people knew that the Titans don't eat people for nutritional reasons, that they just eat people to kill them. But it's like, you know, it makes it like, why do Titans have to eat the people at all? Because, like, they can just crush them with their bodies. Like why wouldn't they just bite them and then spit them out? Because that seems like that would achieve killing them just as much. So, yeah, so that was interesting. Um, yeah, so pretty much that's what happened. And then at the end, we get reintroduced to Eren, and he is. Alright, so the episode ends with us finding Eren in a dungeon. And yeah, so essentially Eren's been arrested by the military police. And he's currently being interrogated by, I think they're the Survey Corps or the Recon Corps. But they're the Corps that Levi is a member of, and so they're Levi and I think Commander Irwin, his name, the blonde guy. They're trying to figure out exactly what Eren's up to and whether they can trust them. And they're asking, like, so what do you want to do and what are your allegiances? And Eren's like, I just want to kill all the Titans. And so Eren asks if he can join the Recon Corps, and they were and Levi's like, sure, but it's like, you know, it's like he said, and Levi says, you know, I don't trust you, but it's like, if you get out of hand and you lose, if I think you're a traitor or you get out of hand again, I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, well, I'll be your handler and you can join us in the Recon Corps so we can retake I think Walrose, and then we can go back to your house and go down to your dad's basement and figure out what the fuck's happening with the Titans. But again, like Levi mentions, like, if you fuck shit up, I'm gonna kill you. So yeah, so that's essentially what happens this week's episode. We had some triumphant and inspiring moments, and then we had a lot of sad moments. Um, yeah, so pretty much what the preview for next week's episode seems to suggest that apparently Eren just gonna go into another hallucination where he's gonna, I guess, remember everything that's happened within the last 5 years. So I think either that could either be really boring and redundant or really interesting. We'll have to see. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah. I am kind of interested in future episodes about what Eren's going to do with the Recon Corps, and I'm kind of interested in what Mikasa and Armin are going to do. Like, are they going to join Eren in the Recon Corps, or are they going to go each of their separate ways and play different parts? I mean, I think Mikasa is pretty cool. And I think she definitely could become a member of the Recon Corps since she is very skilled. But I mean, Armin's kind of more of a thinker than he is a fighter, so I think he would probably go a different path, and I think he could probably be used in a different capacity than what the Recon Corps would use him. So, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, are our three musketeers gonna stay together, or are they gonna go do different things? So, that'll certainly be interesting to see. Um, so definitely looking forward to how that plays out. So with that said, this has been a review of Attack on Titan, episode 13, and please make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.